Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Kachikian, and this is the Armenian Report. The Armenian Report is a two-part digital platform, and the first part is news reports, videos, photos, anything related to Armenia, about Armenia, anything Armenian related. And all of this information goes on Instagram stories and Facebook stories. And the reason why I chose Instagram stories and Facebook stories is a lot of people go on the Instagram account and they see like 4, 5, 6 pictures and they think there's nothing here, where actually there's so much content that I have to put everything in stories. And then you're probably wondering, well, it goes away in 24 hours. Well, no, everything gets archived into the highlights folder so that if you miss it, you can just go and catch up and binge watch. Everything is categorized by year and month. So be sure to go to Instagram and catch up there. The second part are these live podcasts. So what I did was I asked the audience, I said, who do you want to hear from? And the number one requested name was Mariam Pashinyan. So I am so thrilled to be launching 2019 with Armenia's first daughter, Mariam Pashinyan. But before we bring Mariam on, I'm going to lay out the foundation, the rundown, introduce everyone to this whole program. But before, I have to have my surch. All right. So at the end of last year, I met Anush Garibian O'Connor, introduced me to Henry's House of Coffee. And I got on a call with Hadag, who is the president of Henry's House of Coffee. And I said, unfortunately, I had to give up caffeine, therefore give up the Armenian ritual of drinking coffee. And he said, what are you talking about? We have decaf surch. And I was like, what? So since then, I've brought the Armenian coffee ritual back into my life. And by the way, my mom sucks at reading cups. So if you know anyone who's really good at reading the cup, please let me know, because every single day there's a tzitik in my cup, there's a tsar, and there's a letter H, the Armenian letter for H, which I don't know. Oh my God, H for Henry's House of Coffee. This all makes sense. Anyways, so hold on, I gotta have my storch real quick. Cheers. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me nervous. Anyways, so I got on a call when I reached out to Henry's House of Coffee. Without a hesitation, they jumped on board and became our first brand partner. And Henry's House of Coffee is based out of San Francisco. They were founded in 1965. Henry Kalebjian started the company, and Hadag is the president, and his son is taking it up to the next level. So what they've done is they are offering our viewers $5 off your first order. You will see the banner down below. And so what you want to do, what you want to do, you've got the promo code TAR, stands for the Armenian Report. Okay, hold on. So what you want to do, you don't want to leave this live yet, okay? I'm going to post for you. You're going to take a screenshot. Ready? Okay. You guys have the screenshot? All right, good. So you're gonna take that screenshot with the information below, and then you're gonna place your order and support a fellow Armenian after this live and get your $5 off your first order. But so along with me, off camera, having Such is Narine Manasian. Narine, we grew up together, like elementary school, junior high, high school. Narine has gone on to become a story producer. She's worked for reality TV shows like The Real Housewives. So say hi, Narine.
Hi.
And mom is here. So we've got Narine and Garine. And in my ear, I have Stephanie Liu, all the way from San Diego, California. Steph, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Stephanie is directing this entire show live right now from San Diego, California. So I've got the ultimate girl dream team. But without any further ado, I want everyone to meet Armenia's first daughter, and I can't wait to find out who is Mariam Pashinyan. Let's welcome her. Hi, Mariam. Welcome. Thank you so much for choosing the Armenian Report and choosing me as your first interview. I know that you have not gone on camera or done any of the interviews, so thank you for choosing me.
You're welcome. You're my bestie now, actually. You don't know about friends.
Yes. I can't wait for you to come visit here in LA. So I want you to introduce yourself to the world. Tell us, how old are you? First of all,
I'm 20 years old. I just graduated from the University of Tartu, just like on June. And yeah, my name is Mariam. I'm from Armenia, Yerevan. I was born in Yerevan. I have 3 siblings. There's Ashot, Shushan, and Arpi. I love them so much. I have like several dogs. I love them so much. So that's
you mentioned Ashot. Your family, you have a very close-knit family, like with your parents and your siblings. And Ashot is your brother. I think he's 18, right?
Yeah, he's 18, yeah.
Okay, and so he's serving in the military in Artsakh currently. And when your dad gave the speech for the Prime Minister's speech during the holidays, it was a beautiful video. Whoever shot that video, and Ashot wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's serving, so he can't be here whenever he wants to. There's like certain deadlines. So actually now he's on his like first vacation. They get it after the first 6 months. So he's now here. We're enjoying it a lot because we miss him so much. But I mean, we knew that he's gonna do this anyway since we were like really young. Like our parents teach us that like our brothers and like sons have to go to army. So we're completely fine with that.
That's awesome. So he's back right now. You're enjoying him right now. I saw on Instagram you posted. And does he have a girlfriend? I'm not asking for me. That just came out totally wrong. On Instagram I've noticed a lot of girls are like, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. So I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. So actually I discussed this with him. I said, what if you were gonna ask about him? What do I say? Do I call him here or something? But he told me that he rather talking about his personal life by himself. So he forbid me from like answering anything about him because he wants to stay mysterious, you know.
I get it. I got you. Okay, so what is it like having Nikol Pashinyan as for a father?
Well, it's normal, but it's also challenging. It's very intense, but it's very normal for us, you know. So I can't be so specific about this.
Okay. But like growing up with him, what is it like having him around all the time? Because he's a strong personality.
Growing up, I mean, he was always like really busy, but this is something that every child has to deal with their parents, you know. A lot of parents work so many hours a day. But yeah, it was very challenging to, but also a lot of fun because we just like learned so much from him, you know.
All right, so now let's talk about the Velvet Revolution, a series of events that has significantly changed Armenia's history and has sparked a huge awakening amongst Armenians in Armenia, in Artsakh, and especially in the diaspora. Where were you during the Velvet Revolution?
Oh, during the revolution, I was in Tartu. I was in my dormitory room. I was writing my thesis. I was studying for my exams, you know, because this was like the last semester for me. And actually it was the most challenging semester because we had to write our thesis, which was like very huge deal. So yeah, I was in my room just like trying to keep up with the events that were going on, try to like follow everything live on the media and on the news, but also.
Were you alone?
I was alone. When I went to Tartu, I was completely alone, but like obviously I had my Armenian community there, like a lot of supporting friends. So yeah, but our Armenian community was like really strong, you know. We were like gathering together, watching the live, like the National Assembly of the like the elections and everything. Yeah.
How did you have access to your parents during the revolution? Because they were literally, I remember your parents, like your dad just had a backpack and your mom didn't even have a purse. Like, how did you stay in touch with your parents?
They had their phones with them 24/7, so I was just able to call them. If they didn't have internet like on their cell phones, I didn't call them on Messenger or Skype. I would call them on their phone numbers, and we were like 24/7. We were like in touch because I was like so nervous and scared and anxious.
Did you at any point decide you wanted to just drop out of school and come back?
Oh, definitely, I did. I was since the beginning of the march from Gyumri. I knew this is going to become like a big deal, you know. So I was convincing my mom. I was convincing everybody around me. Like, I think this is the right thing to do. I need to go there. But I know if I came here during that time, I would definitely fail my thesis and like stay there for one more semester.
Yeah.
But graduating from university was like one of my goals, you know. So
I major goal, yeah.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I made the decision to stay there because that was the harder option, you know.
So let's take it back for a second. Your father, in many different interviews, has mentioned how he studied greats like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, and Gandhi. He went on to learn English and French. And so it was very evident that during the revolution that he had planned for this for a long time. Did he talk to the family about it? Did you know this was going to happen in April 2018?
So I knew something like this was definitely going to happen. And actually, I knew this after the 2008 protest because I don't know if you remember, but you know about this, but on 2008, people again stood up for against the ex-president's ruling. So they were really against it. There were like elections.
So like a similar situation happened in 2008.
Yeah, and a lot of politicians and the leaders of the protests were detained. And my father was in jail for, I think, 1.5 years. And then he was hiding from the police for 1.5 years. And then for 1.5 years, I think he was in prison. And when he came out of prison, I always knew this was going to happen again, you know. Because
how old were you when all of this happened?
I was, I think, 10.
Okay.
10 years old.
So
I knew like something big was going to happen. People were so tired of what was going on for over 20 years. But specifically about the Velvet Revolution, we had a really short talk during winter holidays. I was home. And we had like short discussion, not discussion, but like he told us that he wants to do something like this. But not only him, I think a lot of groups and like a lot of different groups of people were preparing to do something against the president's third term of presidency. So it
sounds to me like it wasn't a secret, like he was telling people about it.
Yeah, it wasn't a secret, definitely, no.
Okay, so where were you when you found out the revolution started?
I was in my dormitory. Yeah.
So you didn't find out before. You found out when all of us found out, pretty much.
Like I didn't know like more details, like when is the date or how it's going to start or who's going to be there, how it's going to like work out, you know. I just I was following his Facebook page like everybody else was doing. So that's how I found out. And then I was freaking out, texting my mom, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I can't like focus on my studies, etc.
And how did your mom help you?
She helped me so much, like during these very difficult events when there was like the peak when actually he damaged his hand or when he was detained. My mom was like relaxing me a lot because she was not showing how nervous she was, just so I'm more relaxed and calm, which I appreciate so much because since I was away, I was even more nervous than I would be if I was here. You know?
Yeah.
So, she was just constantly keeping touch with me and saying that everything is okay, everything is going to be fine. So yeah, she helped me immensely.
Are you surprised by how well things have turned out so far?
I'm not surprised, but like everybody else, I was really frustrated about what was going on in the country. I was really frustrated. So everybody was so happy when this happened, and like not surprised, but just like everybody felt like magic happened, you know? And it's not like just being surprised. It's just like, oh, like this actually happened, you know? It's like magic. So that's what I felt when it happened. Yeah.
I completely agree with you, because especially here in the United States, us Armenians we're very, very proud of our heritage and our history. I just got so emotional. I don't know why. Because it's true, because no matter like how successful, you know, people are, or how successful businesses become here, they never forget the resilience that their ancestors have instilled in them. And so my goal for the Armenian Report was to find these kinds of companies who are American brands, but also who incorporate their Armenian history and their culture into their brands. Like, for example, Henry's House of Coffee, you know, they roast coffee in San Francisco, but they've incorporated surge into their part of their brand. So our second brand partner is Icelink Jewelry and Watches. They're famous for their 6-time zone watch, but in the recent years, they launched their Armenian alphabet necklace. Over here, I'm wearing it. Then they have the Armenian medallion initial necklaces, and then their eternity necklaces. And I think it's really cool that they're doing this through jewelry, because like when you go to a party here, Mad, like, and you see someone wearing it immediately, like I was at a party in Santa Monica and this girl was wearing it right away. I'm like, oh, you're wearing the Icelink necklace, and we connected. So they're, so aside from connecting Armenians through jewelry, Icelink raises and donates tremendous amount of money to Tracy OBrien's project called The Journey. And what The Journey does is it benefits soldiers in Armenia and children battling with cancer in Armenia. So I really, and so when I reached out to Icelink, they said that they would offer our audience 15% off the entire website, and they ship international. So Steph, we got the banner on the bottom. Okay, Mariam. So we tried to rush deliver you one of these necklaces, but what was the company called? DHL? Yeah. DHL's holding on to your necklace. So, but so I want to say thank you to Icelink for incorporating our history and making this and making it a part of the conversation. So if you have the banner, promo code is TAR, 15% off nationwide. And so what I wanted to ask you, Maud, was what do you think about companies like Icelink, like Henry's House of Coffee in the diaspora, incorporating the Armenian history? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I think it's very brave for Armenian people that are in the diaspora to actually choose, I think it's like more difficult way for their businesses, because it's much harder for different markets to have different products, you know, so Armenian products, we're not sure how many people are actually going to buy it or be interested in it. So I really appreciate when people, especially in diaspora, choose to promote Armenia through their businesses and Armenian culture and Armenian traditions and like the even letters and etc. So I really appreciate this type of people that live in that.
What do you think we could do more to connect with Armenians in Armenia, or maybe connect all Armenians around the world together? What more do you think we could do? What else could we do?
Well, I think after the Velvet Revolution, everybody's like very connected. Not only after the Velvet Revolution, but I think Armenian people are always connected just because, and our history connects us all the difficulties that happened during our history connects us, and our tradition, culture connects us, you know. But I truly believe that Armenian people around the world can be more supportive of one another, and maybe help people that are in more not so favorable conditions. For example, I really think that Armenian people in diaspora can support Armenian girls or children in villages that are going through hardship or violence, or so even talking about those issues are very important. I'm not just saying like there is need to invest or always just, you know, anything with money, but just like talking about different issues and encouraging the vulnerable Armenian people is already like a big thing. So
yeah.
I think,
so
yeah.
domestic violence and women's issues is really important to you.
Yeah.
I know that that's a conversation topic that you really wanted to touch on today. And so, but really quickly, just to kind of lay out the foundation, what rights do women currently have in Armenia?
Well, if we look from economic perspective, women and men are equal. They have equal rights, equal social rights and legal rights. So it's like that's what Armenian legislation promotes and believes in, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I guess my question is, okay, so if we're going to talk about domestic violence, let's talk about the men. Do you think that Armenian men respect women?
Yeah. So, if
what is an Armenian man's concept of respect?
Yeah. So if there's like this little percentage of men or boys that actually violate women or violate their rights, I don't just look badly at every Armenian person, because I think Armenian men are really good, really respectful. They're really supportive of their families, of their children. They support their children a lot, their parents. You know, family is very important for Armenian men. But obviously, in any country, I think there is this small percentage that actually just ruins everything, you know, about this. So there is, I believe there's a lot of domestic violence in Armenia, but most of it is not being reported, you know? And yeah, this is a big issue, because I've heard a lot about like within my friends and relatives of friends, and just, you know, you just hear it through the grapevine that there was like violence in a household that's very close to you.
So if women have economical equal rights, they have economic equal rights, what I don't know why domestic violence really upsets me in this conversation.
Frustrating.
Okay, so if they have economic equal rights, right? But do you believe in gender roles?
You know, I think it's not like the country that decides on this.
No. You personally, do you believe in gender roles?
I believe in gender role. I definitely do. So equal rights don't mean like everything equal for me, you know. But I'm really like a very strong believer of human rights. That human rights have to be protected, etc. But as I told already, like those issues are being so manipulated and used in so many different areas, on so many different levels. So I think it's very you have to approach this very carefully, because
what do you mean by manipulated? Can you elaborate on that?
Of course. So it's being like, for example, I would go somewhere and like a guy would compliment me or something, and I would say, oh, it's like a violence, or he's being inappropriate.
I see. So you're saying, okay,
girls are doing this nowadays in the office place, in the workplace, like on the street, you know, to get advantage of something. Okay.
So what you're saying is that we shouldn't be one extreme to the other. Like, you know, you don't want to.
An issue that's like globally, not only in Armenia. Like people start to talk about those issues, but they just go from one extreme to another. You just have to provide this economic, social equality, for the whole population. But then I think every household decides like how it's comfortable for them to live or to just share responsibilities, you know?
Yeah. But you growing up, what was it like in your home?
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for my parents because I never felt like I am being treated any different than my brother. So that's very important for me. I was never, actually, my parents encouraged me so much to go study abroad. I had the choice to either stay here to study in American University of Armenia or University of Tartu. It's like the same program, but my parents encouraged me to go there because they believe that I'll get like better experience to just like live on my own and face challenges by myself. And I'm very grateful for this because I think.
But did you learn English when you moved to Estonia?
I knew English before. I studied for American University of Armenia, so I needed to give this TOEFL test. But I mean, it kind of like started opening up when I went to Estonia. At the beginning, I didn't understand the word. Like it was so hard, especially when you go to university. They're starting from a certain level, and I didn't have economic background at all or anything related to business. So I just had to like jump on a certain level really quickly. It was hard, but I'm just so grateful for that experience. And I want to encourage like Armenian girls to do it because I know so many girls
study abroad.
Yeah, so many girls like text me that they want to do it, but like their parents, their brothers are like against it. But like they have to, do it. Just do it. Just like find ways to do it.
What? Hold on. What is it? You have to. Do you want to ask it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Come. You want to come close? No.
Just tell you to ask her.
Okay. Hold on. We have a really good question that's on topic. What is it?
Anna Avakian was asking what has been done to prevent domestic violence and what can we personally do?
Well, it sounds like so. What's her name?
Anna Avakian.
Anna Avakian is asking what has been done on domestic violence and what can we do? I think Mariam said what we can do is talk about it.
Yes.
Talk more about it. And no amot.
Yeah. I believe that it's just starting to be normal to talk about this. A lot of people are actually ignoring this issue. They are just totally like just ignoring it, they're not actually acknowledging that this exists, which is really bad. But a lot of organizations and women and centers are beginning to actually take certain steps to develop the support. Yeah.
Well, personally, no one asked me, but I'm going to share. But personally, it sounds to me like it comes from how we're raising our boys, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are we raising our boys is the question. So let's take it back for a minute. So that's my personal take on this.
I also believe that the public figures of Armenia have to promote that violence, not promote, but they have to say that violence is not okay, and they have to promote what's not violence. But in this case, I think on our TV, even on our TV, there's so much violence in our like movies and everything. So I think this has to be like reconsidered.
Yeah. Well, you were raised by two parents who come off like they have the most loving and respectful relationship. Can you talk to us a little bit about their relationship? Now that you're an adult, like when you look at them, like talk about their relationship.
Yeah. For me, they're like very usual parents. So I can't say anything too unique about their relationship because for me, they're like so normal. But what I admire about their relationship is that they love each other so much. There's so much love. So that's the most important thing for any relationship, I think.
Mariam, Grandma's watching. Mom says Grandma's watching?
Yeah.
Okay. Sira Pitatik is watching. What is she saying? Did you hear her?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So how has your life changed since you've been back? Like, how are you coping with everything? How has it changed? What's your day-to-day like?
It's a little different. We moved from our old house to this new area, which is actually, we miss our old house so much. My sister is all the time, yeah, she's really all the time just complaining
Which
about
sister, Shushan or RP?
Shushan. Yeah, RP is a little small. She doesn't understand too much, but Shushan is
Yeah.
complaining about how much she misses our old house.
Aww. And how
she's
old is Shushan?
she's 11.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
But Shushan, by the way, reminds me of me at 11.
Yeah.
She's like me at 11. It's crazy with her YouTube channel and interviewing people.
Yeah, she's so outgoing. She's so like talking, and she has her YouTube channel and she's working so hard on it. We just like with her production like stuff. Her cameras and everything.
She's so
her
cute.
video. Yeah, she's really cute. So yeah, she's complaining about like missing our old house and like old lifestyle, but we are, we're managing somehow to stay very true to ourselves for all this journey, and we're trying to stay close to who we are and like what our goal is, individual goals are. So me and my brother, we're just staying focused on our goals, our life, and my are just working. This is like work for them, so they are working really hard.
How much time do we have, Nana? Oh, we're good. Okay, good. So, Maud, I want you and I to talk about something that we remember on the phone we had talked about, which was this new Armenia, right? Where we talked about how people have, there is no corruption and people have the opportunities. And so I want you to kind of talk about that because I loved your message.
Yeah, so we were talking about what has changed, like how people's lives are changing. And I was just telling you how I just hear all these complaints and like how people are excited, which is awesome. It's awesome that people are excited. People are excited about their lives, their futures. But I mean, being only excited is not going to better your life. And I think this should be obvious for everybody that you have to work to actually change something in your life. So other people are not going to do it for you. And I know this for a fact. For example, I'm going to different organizations, writing different tests, trying myself in different fields. Nothing is coming easy for anybody. So I just want to send this message to the people who are just always just being frustrated, and excited and waiting that somebody is going to come into their lives and change it. I just want to tell them that they have to work like so much harder right now than before in order to better their lives, because our world nowadays is like very competitive. So if you want to actually achieve something, you have to work very hard for it,
Yeah, and we do. I mean, here in the States, we work really hard. I mean, I've been busting my butt for this interview for over a month, and you guys all know this. So we work really hard and doing whatever we want, whatever it is we want to do, and it's just reshifting the mentality in Armenia, which is do it while you're there. You can, right?
And also like now people have this like huge amount of hope and so yeah, people have this hope, and excitement, and I just think they should change it into action. They should take it into action and just take control over their lives, because I believe that every individual has the power, to do something. When people are asking me for something, I'm like, okay, guys, I don't think I have the power to do it for you, but I think you have the power to do it for yourself. So
absolutely.
So I just want to, it's very important to just make people believe what they are capable of. So, I'm seeing so many amazing young people in our rural areas that are just starting their small business or taking their own initiative to maybe just make wine in their yard, or maybe make like cheese, the dried fruits, or There's so many amazing young people that just work without complaining, without like demanding anything. And I think this is something that everybody has to do, you know?
Yeah, and there are jobs like you have a lot of coffee shops. I hear
Yeah.
everyone I talk to visiting Armenia, they're like every other block is so someone has to serve the suit, right? So so like you know, maybe encouraging having this sort of Western mentality, like, you know, when you're 18 or when you're still in college, it's okay to go get a job and start, right? So
I want to tell you this story. Even me myself, I worked as a waitress in a coffee shop when I was like much younger, and I just want to say that there is if you treat your work with dignity and kindness and grace, you are definitely going to enjoy life and like better your economic condition. But if you like sit there and complain and just like want like a bigger salary for less energetic job, like that's not because like this is very competitive world, and we all have to work hard for actually achieving something. So yeah, I just want to encourage everybody to get a job, work for themselves, and just better their lives and economic condition.
do you think the majority or the minority of Armenians your age, so like the young, you know, I want to say 18 to 30. God, I'm over 30. Oh gosh. Do you think that they think more like you, or they think more like 1995?
Well,
I just had like a smell, like funny, like. Sorry.
I'm not really blaming to the people who are like that, who are like disencouraged and who are just like lazy to do something, because I believe that during the past 20 years since independence of Armenia, or I don't know, for the past 20 years, let's say, only like laziness has been promoted in our country, and only like how can I say, people felt that they have to, they don't have the power, so they have not been empowered. Now people are being well powered by the government, so I think it's a perfect time for them to take action and to do something with their lives. It's very important for the public figures and the political figures, and also like the celebrities, the singers, the actors, actresses, to talk to people and to empower them. I think
take advantage of their platform and to do something good. That's very important.
In my opinion, nobody is doing that, and our journalists are not doing that, because they have so much power to just spread lights on issues that are very important, like domestic violence, inequality, etc. But they are just like spreading lights on, like who is whose relative, or who what
TMZ.
Something like that, which is I don't think that's the time for Armenia's media right now. I think it's time to just like bring light to important issues that need to be talked about. Not only journalists, but like the public figures too, celebrities, actors, actresses, singers.
Nina has a question. Or, well, someone has a question. Nina has red flagged.
Fina Wheeler is asking.
Go louder.
I don't think the problem is so much in Yerevan as much as to the opportunities, but it's the villages and countryside that most families are in extreme economical despair. What plans? Are there?
So the villages.
Yeah, to help those villages.
What's her name?
Fina Wheeler.
Fina Wheeler says, she says that it's not so much in Yerevan that's the problem. It's the impoverished like villages outside, like Yugerum. That's the problem with, you know, finding a job, finding some sort of monetary stability.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is being done about?
What is being done?
I guess Fresno here. No kidding. What's being done in Fresno? Bakersfield. Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, like գյուղերում ինչ են անում գյուղերում որ օգնեն մարդկանց որ գործ չկա, բիզնես չկա.
Well, I think it comes from the overall country. First of all, agriculture is like a whole new entire like field of business. That's like so much thing to do there. So there's no way there's no job in the villages. The most job is in the villages. That's what I believe in.
Because of agriculture.
The person has like the business ethics and the person has the work ethics. They'll make up something in their village because I believe it's easier to do something.
Just nodding. Nodding is nodding so hard on the side. I saw a whole movement.
Yeah, because come on, like there's like agriculture is like one of the biggest like fields to do something. It's like very expensive like field, you know, and not only that, but just like winery or making cheese or just making vodka. Armenian people love to do it, or cheese, or Armenian people love like homemade food, you know. So
well, I think they need to embrace the organic while they have it instead of eating processed chips, and, you know, from Europe.
So, for example, if I go to a restaurant that's in Davush or is in Lori, why shall I eat something that's that's from the factory? Do you know what I'm saying? Like why
is so fresh
enough like organic products or organic foods there?
Yeah.
I don't believe that there is no job in the villages. There's actually so much to do, and people just have to learn how to efficiently manage it and how to get the equipment. And there are a lot of organizations that are helping them to get like equipment for winery or equipment to make cheese or to make butter. So it's getting, and now currently I think there is a lot of attention on the village areas, and I think it's definitely going to get better.
How much time do I have? Because I have more questions, but do you guys have a lot of questions?
15 to 20 minutes. We have a conversation going on about people living.
Can you come closer? Sorry.
And containers.
No, you come close. You're just right here. Oh. So just for the microphone. Oh. Okay. So there's a conversation going on
about
in the comments.
The 1980 earthquake, living still in containers, and the people in Vanadzor.
Yeah.
So I think those are the general topics that people are asking about the rural countries.
Yeah, so Gyumrium որ մարդիկ երկրաշարժից հետո after the earthquake they're still living in I saw videos that Tagli posted. It just breaks my heart, and Vanadzor too, yeah.
I know about this, but why shall we forget about that? Like for the past 20 years, nothing has been done about this.
Thank you. I was like, I'm biting my tongue.
It's like 7 months
biting my tongue.
The revolution happened, but like, why don't we remember that nothing has been done for ages?
Yeah. The millions of dollars that has been donated. Why? Where is it? What happened? Where did it go?
Where are the investments? Like they're because they're non-investment. Yeah. They have been talking about different issues and about like the ways to solve these issues, but actually they have not been doing anything. So I'm not really sure like how can
we're starting from scratch.
How can you ask this question? How can you put it on this level and compare it to like what has been done,
Yeah. So we're basically, our piggy bank is at zero. Hayed. We're starting from scratch is what I'm hearing. But I love what Tracy OBrien is doing because she's taking the money and she's handing it to them versus you doing it through other ways of where you're like, where did this money go? So I'm all for it. that's exactly, that's just my personal opinion. I think that the money needs to be handed to them, or needs to be done in a way where it's being built. Like, you're like, we're taking this money, we're building this house, we're building this house. And I know there are a lot of Armenian organizations who are doing a lot of work, but it's still not enough. So we need to step up. And I think what people need to do, the Armenian people living in Armenia need to do, is they need to step up too, right? They need to figure out ways, is what you're saying, like figure out ways to make money, make wine, make cheese, whatever it is, you do your part.
No, the thing is, it's not like, it depends on the community leaders. It depends on the community members. So it's not that like one person is doing everything for everybody, you know? People have to work very closely together. Communities have to work really closely together with their leaders. They have to think about efficient solutions. They have to take advices, and they have to take suggestions from people that know better. So it's very, you have to be open and just work a lot, you know, and have a lot of discussions, and just be open to new ways to solve things.
If everyone took 100% responsibility for their actions, instead of saying, oh, this is my part, I'm doing my part, you do your part, so we'll make it a 100, maybe a 90, it doesn't work that way. Everyone puts in their 100%. Like Stephanie's putting her 100% in, Nana is putting her 100, everyone's putting their 100% in right now. So that's the mentality that needs to be created or maintained or whatnot.
People, you know, when they complain about topics or issues, why don't they take their own initiative to do something about it? Like, that's something I never really understand, because people just love to complain, but like, you have so much power, just like you alone, you have so much power to maybe go to different organizations or different communities and like see what you can do, because every individual has power to solve issues that are like on a country level, on national level.
Narina, you have a question?
Yeah.
Come closer, because I want to make sure they hear it.
Arthur Alexanyan was asking if Mariam has any plans to get into politics, as well as Nare Bod. What are your plans for the future? Maybe starting an organization? Is there anything focusing on the younger generation?
Okay, so there are two questions. First question is, do you have any plans of getting into politics?
I think getting into politics is very situational, and you have to look at, what can you actually do? If you can have any investments, any efficient solutions to different various topics, then definitely that's something I would love to do. But again, I believe like politics is very, like, you have to look at the specific time period and like the situation and see if you can do something there and be handy, be useful.
And the second question was, I think you came off very passionate about, domestic violence and women's issues and all of that. And so someone asked, is there something that you'd be interested in, like maybe possibly or opening up an organization in Armenia or doing anything like that?
Yeah, so I just graduated. So right now I'm just trying to learn,
coping with the new life.
Not only that, but I'm just trying to see what's happening in the country, because I really didn't have time to do my research, to go by myself and see what's actually happening, on what level is actually domestic violence, because I don't believe to the reports, and it's pretty biased. So right now, this is my gap year. Maybe I'll do my master's in the future or no, but this is my gap year to see actually what I want to do. And it's time for me to do my research and see what's the situation about this. And if I can be useful. So if I'm not useful, I'm not going to do something so it waste, you know?
1,000%. Well, I have a very strong feeling that if that's something that you would want to get into, there would be a lot of Armenians in the US and around the world who would be willing to work with you and make this happen. So just keep that in mind. You won't be alone. I think there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be willing to help you out if that's something that you want to do. But just like everyone else in Armenia, in the diaspora, we're all on the same boat. It sounds you're on the same boat as everybody else. Everyone is just kind of waiting around to see what's next, what's happening. So you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Or just like work on your business and develop your business and just promote Armenian culture, and you know that's what we have to do.
We have another question? Okay.
We have a question.
Can you hear her?
Yeah. We have a question from Lilith Gasparian. Lilith Gasparian. How can the new generation of Armenians utilize the internet to implement change for the country and themselves? Is there a need to improve the internet infrastructure in Armenia?
Oh, in Armenia. Did you hear her, Man?
Yeah.
So the internet, social media, do you think over there they're using it right? Do you think it could change?
No,
right?
How to implement change.
How to implement change. I think the Prime Minister has already proven how to use social media for change. Just go on his Facebook page and follow lead.
I believe that right now, of course, internet can be used for so much impact, like the social media platforms, and this is how it can be done. I think people just can start their small e-commerce businesses on the internet, and they can just take their own initiative to do something, which is already like developing Armenian economy, you know. And not only that, but also taking on new opportunities, maybe studying abroad. Internet obviously opens this door for the younger generation, just studying abroad, which is again big investment to the country when the generation goes outside, studies, and comes back with modern and useful experience.
Okay.
So
how much time do we have? I don't have a time in front of me. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to really quickly wrap it up. I have two last questions for you. I want to know, what's the best life advice your father has ever given you?
Yeah. So I told this story that when I applied to get accepted to American University of Armenia, I actually didn't get accepted on the first term. I needed to re-give my exams and get higher grades in order to get in. So I was really frustrated during this time, and I didn't still know that I'm getting accepted into University of Tartu to study my business administration degree. And I was very frustrated, and during this time he told me that hard work always wins, because I was really upset that some kids next to me would study only for 2 months and get like higher results than me. So that was,
I know about those people.
But we have these people around us. They were like they study so much less than us. They get higher results, or
they read it one time and they're like, I got it, I remember.
And also it's not about studies, you know. There are people that can work faster, you know. But he just told me that hard work is the winner. So
hard work always pays off. And where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
I'm not really sure. Maybe I will do masters, maybe I will not. But I just see myself working, maybe taking my own initiative somewhere, just just finding what I want to do and just like working on this. Okay.
Well, you just got back, right?
Yeah.
Like how long? Like you're still adjusting to this very new, not normal. So it all makes sense. But do we have any last questions before we wrap it up? No. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mariam. Thank you for choosing the Armenian Report. Thank you for choosing me. Everyone, please go follow Mariam on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is No, 6 underscores, 6 underscores, and M. No, we've got 2 M's, ARI, 3 A's, and an M. Do you see it? You guys should see it on the bottom, but it's 6 underscores. The reason why I keep emphasizing 6 because there are fake accounts that have like less underscores, so you want to make sure you're following the right one. So thank you so much, Mariam, and I can't wait to see what you do. I can't wait to talk to you more as you continue to develop and grow and new things are coming up, and keep in touch. Thank you for shining a light on so many important issues that are so important to Armenia and Armenians.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me. And I really love what you're doing with the Armenian Report. I wish you a lot of success there because you're promoting Armenian businesses and Armenian culture, and you're connecting a lot of Armenians together from all around the world. I saw the voice contestant who was like half Armenian, so I'm really happy you're trying to find unique Armenians and just like
yes, that's the goal, connecting the unique ones, the ones that you don't hear about, like the ones that you don't, the gems that are too shy to come up. Yeah, those are the ones I'm looking for. So thank you so much for launching 2019 with me. Thank you. All right, take care. Bye. Mwah. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you fell in love with Mariam as much as I have. Now more than ever, I want to visit Armenia. I can't wait to go back. So when I was looking for my 3rd brand partner, I really wanted it to be a travel company. What is it? Oh, okay. All right. We're in conclusion. Hold on. So our 3rd and last brand partner, I really wanted it to be a travel agency. And I got Sidon Travel that I connected with. And so when I told my mom it's Sidon Travel, she said, that's the travel agency we used to move and come to America. And I was like, oh my God, my whole life is coming full circle. They are a family-owned and operated travel agency. They've been in business for 50 plus years, so they definitely know a thing or two about travel, all right? And so you should see the banner. Gosh, where am I? Right or left? I don't know where the banner is, but it's on the side. And so what they're offering is $50 off your flight to Armenia. And then if you want to take like I don't know, go to Cabo, Hawaii, you can get like a package. They're doing $100 to $150. So you can do both if you want. I didn't write the number down because you can just go to Sidon, or like we can put the link in the Facebook comments. Yeah. Or you can call 818-553-077, but you can Google it, or you can take a screenshot. Ready? I don't know why. I think it's so silly. I love doing this. So really quickly, I want to say thank you to Mariam for staying past midnight to do this interview. I want to thank her for sharing her family with all of us. I know it's not hard because I don't know how I would feel about sharing my mom. But so special thanks to our brand partners, Henry's House of Coffee, Icelink, and Sidon Travel. Thank you for trusting me with your brand image and jumping in and helping me launch this. I want to thank Stephanie Liu and Nadine Amenasian for taking time away from their children and their husbands to do this with me on a Sunday. It really means a lot. And I especially want to thank my mom for her unconditional support and always translating everything for us and explaining it. It's not just the translation, it's also the explanation. And what did she say? Mukuch or something like that. All these cockroaches have these like really names. I'm like, no, what's his legal name? I want to know his legal name. Don't give me his like fake name, his mafia name, whatever they're called. Anyways, so I also want to give credit to Gor Kojabagian, who created the song tune. So thank you, Gor, for letting me use that. And of course, Facebook and Ecamm for providing me with this platform where I get to do what I love the most, which is connect with everyone live. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Ooh, touch the mic. I want to make sure you hear me saying that. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching, engaging, and if you can, again, don't forget the Armenian Report, Instagram and Facebook. there's tons of content on a daily basis. It's all in stories. So be sure to follow along and share this with your friends and family on Facebook. I'll upload it to YouTube, and so it'll be all over the place. Thank you so much, and I will see you on Instagram stories and Facebook. Bye.